Hey everyone, this is Cary Smith, and I'm sitting here with Amar Shah. We're both with Client First Capital. And, Amar, today's video is about, what happens when a person decides to retire early and what are some of the impacts of that decision. You and I have talked to some people recently, some clients and potential clients about retiring early. So it's been on our mind. We know it's on other people's mind because it keeps coming up in meetings that we have. So I just thought it would be a good topic for a video today.
No, I think it's a great topic. I mean, I also think during COVID, people made the decision to retire early, right? And so we've actually had some experience with it and helping clients go through that transition. So I think it's a good conversation.
Yeah, and a lot of people, for some people anyway, they make the decision and then start to understand the implications, right? And so the best thing to do is understand the implications so you can have a plan and work around those and then make the decision, right?
Yeah.
And and so, hey, I'll start us off. I know for some people, whenever they are thinking about retiring, for most of us, Social Security benefits are somewhere in our future retirement plan that we'll start receiving those. And you'll still receive those most likely if you're eligible for Social Security. But a lot of times that benefit is based upon, or it is based upon your most productive years. And for some people in their careers, those later years in their careers are the most productive and where their income is the highest. And so they may be, opting for a slightly lower monthly benefit.
Yeah. We take individuals, let's say, that want to retire at age 50, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Social Security covers your 35 last working years, the highest of your last highest 35 years that you paid into Social Security.
Right.
So if you retire at 50, you're taking your first job into account for your Social Security calculation. So
Yeah.
I think
Good
that's
point.
a big part of that. And claiming benefits earlier also reduces to like the growth of Social Security.
Mm-hmm.
Every year you delay taking Social Security. So let's say you're age 62 and you can take Social Security early, or you can delay it till you get to full retirement age, or until age 70. But it grows while it's being delayed.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think something that sometimes uh, a medical emergency in the family causes people to retire early so they can
Mm-hmm.
help, uh, not maybe necessarily as a caregiver, but maybe spend some quality years with parents, siblings, whatever that may be. But some of that could also be their own healthcare benefits are going to be cost a lot more, right? So we have this transition where you can get Cobra, but then what after that? And you're not quite on Medicare yet, and so there could be some gap years where, from an underwriting perspective, your healthcare costs are high, right? And you haven't fully converted into Medicare yet.
Yeah, that's a good point. In your working years, a lot of times those costs are subsidized by your employer. And so you're paying, maybe 10, 20% of the overall cost, right? But when you retire, even if you're on Cobra, you're typically picking up, all of those costs. If you opt for the ACA or something similar, after that, you're getting all of the cost. And although, insurability is not a concern any longer, the cost still continues to be a concern, and health insurance is expensive.
Yeah, big time.
Yep.
Yeah. But those people that, I'm going to ask you, Cary, first 6 months of your retirement, what would you judge your fitness level pre-retirement, and then the first 6 months after retirement?
So, here's what I can tell you about retirement that is wonderful. When you retire, assuming you retire, because you're healthy and not for some medical reason, you typically are a lot more active and a lot more engaged physically. And, and also for me, I had more time to prepare meals and was eating healthier as well. So those first 6 months of retirement for me were pretty dramatic in how it impacted my health, right? because I was a lot more active. And so I saw a positive benefit there, but I think that could also lead to another expense, right? And that is, um, when you're active and you're being healthy, you're out doing things. And most things that are fun to do are not free. And so I also, as you think, well, I'm going to retire, my expenses will go down. I'm not driving to work and all this stuff every day. I think I saw my expenses actually tick up a little bit for that first 6 months. They
Yeah.
eventually started to come back down right as I slipped into a new routine. But initially, I was a lot more active in doing things and actually spending a little more money.
Yeah. So there's, I think, two things that we covered there is
Mhm.
a cost of living potentially could go up, right, in the first couple of 6 months of retirement, but also your health. You may become healthier because as a corporate executive, you probably had dinners, travel, high stress job. When you're on the other side of the coin, you have time to do fitness, watch your what you're eating, cook meals at home rather than going out to eat. That could also add some longevity risk, right? In sense that now that you have more years than you would have, right? So if you take somebody that's 55 versus 65, you have
Mhm.
10 years, 10 more healthier years that can help the back end of, increasing your longevity, right?
That's right.
So,
And but increased longevity comes with the risk of, will you outlive your portfolio, right?
yeah,
And that money that you're now needing to that you've put away for retirement now needs to last you longer because you retired earlier, and maybe longer because you might live a little bit longer if you adopt a healthy lifestyle.
yeah, yeah. So I definitely think that's a big component of that. Another component of that is that because you retired earlier, you're relying on your investments, right?
Mhm.
And so there's probably if I look at this in my mind, I see three distinct phases, right? So retirement till you turn 59 and a half, 59 and a half till you turn 70 or 73, depending on your birth year when you have to take required minimum distributions.
Right.
For most people watching this, it'll be 73. So we can just go with that caveat. And then 73 onwards, right? So you have these three phases. And, accessing capital earlier before pensions have turned on, before Social Security, you're probably going to withdraw some more. That probably causes risk or stress on your portfolio, because your withdrawal rate may be a little bit higher in those earlier years until those other sources of income kick in.
Yeah, and you might allocate different as well. So if I'm 55 and I think I might and I was planning to retire in my 60s, I might be a little more aggressive in that portfolio. But if I decide to retire at 55, right, I might change that allocation a little bit because now I'm starting to live off those funds, and so I could potentially have some missed growth because of that as well.
All right. Here's the biggest one that I see, right? And I think this is going back to kind of the work that we do here at Client First Capital in terms of the next decade workbook, um, making sure that we find experiences that you want that align with your values as well as your financial plan, and making sure that there's an efficient way from a tax perspective, but that you're also doing the things you want to do. Is that I believe that individuals that retire earlier have a higher risk of losing purpose and finding a new routine. And
Yeah.
and and, and I kind of think of this from the opposite lens, in the sense that our happiest clients are the ones that are engaged till probably at age 70 to 75,
Hmm.
and stay engaged. What
Right.
are your thoughts?
Yeah, Amar, for most of us, we find some purpose in our jobs, in our occupation. That purpose, typically comes from helping our organization be successful, helping our employees be successful. Right? There's just a lot of things that contribute to the sense of worth that we have. And for some people, when they retire, they know exactly what they're going to do, and they have a plan where they're not going to struggle with that. But a lot of people, they leave the working world, and then all of a sudden, and I can tell you also through experience, when you first retire, most of your friends are still working. And so you start to, you start to have to find things to replace what you were doing, and that sense of purpose, needs to be reestablished in a different way. Some people can reestablish it quickly, others it takes longer, but there's mental impacts of not having that sense of purpose when you retire.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Hey, if you like our content, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps other individuals find our content who are just like you. Also, if you haven't already, visit our website, and we have a newsletter link at the bottom where you can subscribe. We don't spam you. It's only 12 or 11 emails throughout the year. You get a couple up front, but one a month, and it goes over retirement planning, estate planning, tax planning type topics, as well as general retirement information. Thank you for watching. Bye, Cary.
Hey, see you, Amar.